Hey, what's up? I got some more Riftbound content for you guys. My name is Tempo. I've played a ton of Legends of Runeterra, even hitting rank 1 multiple times on the America server and top 32 in seasonal tournaments, and I will be your guide to Riftbound. I have a bunch of videos I want to cover for the new League of Legends physical card game, but I wanted to start with some discussion videos of what I've learned so far playing Riftbound and comparing it to Legends of Runeterra. That way they can be used as an easy transition between the two games. If you used to play LoR, then I'll try my best to make Riftbound easier for you to understand, and vice versa. If you play Riftbound, then I can give you a direction to go for when getting into LoR. If you're interested in either game, definitely drop a sub, because I'd like to make more videos like this, and your support lets me know that I should. With that out of the way, I'm going to translate every character from Riftbound to Legends of Runeterra. I have one deck from LoR to represent each champion legend from Riftbound. Quick things to note, these comparisons are obviously not perfect one-to-ones, and they don't share exact tools with each other. It's more like the mindset you have when playing the LoR variant applies when playing the Riftbound variant. I'll be going in alphabetical order and starting with Ahri. The first thing I noticed playing as and against Ahri is that it feels like a defensive Demacia deck. Definitely one that has an emphasis on reactive plays. So the immediate deck that comes to mind would be Barrier Boys, especially since they share the Ionia attributes of buffs and spell denial. The play pattern of establish a board and then save mana for a cheap buff or deny is present in both decks, so it's my best comparison. There's a lot more that could be said about her playstyle itself, but I plan to go on more deep dives during a future Riftbound champion breakdown series, and of course that includes every champion, not just Ahri, so definitely sub so you don't miss those, and you'll even have a say in the order in which I release them. Moving on to the next champion, we have Annie. Funnily enough, she plays very similarly to Annie in LoR, but not in the context of Jhin Annie aggro, nope. She's more like a mid-range to control, resource, and momentum-based spell-slinging deck. She herself feels like a baby Swain, and wants to play units while keeping up spell pressure to cast around them and keep up momentum. She's very reminiscent of Annie Tybolt control. Next up we have Mr. Noxus himself, Darius. He's another easy one to be honest. Standard Darius aggro plays a lot like generic burn aggro strategies from LoR. With the ability to cheat mana using his legend card, the best comparison might actually be pirate aggro, because you can kind of think of it like a tune. So, you know, Zap Sprayfin comes to mind. Except the mana from Darius can also be used to play units, so that's pretty cool too. There's another deck archetype called Baited Hook, and Darius can play this card. It's basically Vaults of Helia, and every yellow champion has access to it. Moving on to Garen. Since his legend benefits from swarming, which isn't a real benefit because this effect is really hard to resolve by the way, he plays like a token swarmy version of elites from LoR. Nothing special really. Okay, now we have another easy one. Next up is Jinx, who plays exactly like she does from LoR. She's quite literally discard aggro. That's it, that's the tweet. Okay, finally, we have one that's very different, and that is Kaisa. So in LoR, she's a mid-range combo keyword soup kind of deck, right? But in Riftbound, she's a mid-range spell-slinging deck that puts down premium units and then uses removal to prevent enemy developments, accelerating her own momentum while keeping enemies behind, limiting their options. Due to the nature of her removal and colors, the best comparison I can come up with is Swain Bandle. If you saw my recent region to color comparison guide, you'll know I compared blue to a mix of Bandle and PNZ, so this is a very solid one-to-one to be honest. And if you haven't seen it, it's on the screen right here for you to check out. Next we have Lee Sin, which feels like a weird mix of Ionia, while borrowing the concept of +1/+1 buffing from Freljord. Immediately, that reminds me of OG Kinku elusives, if you remember the old days of LoR. I'm like bringing it back to 2019 and 2020 with this one, but it's okay, because there are no elusives in this game. So Kinku Ionia with buffs sucks, right? Well, Lee Sin does, but spoiler alert, the concept itself doesn't, and you'll see why in a bit. Leona is up next, and yep, she plays like Leona. Definitely the defensive Yasuo version that was played a decent amount in LoR. Moving on to another easy one again, we have Lux, and yep, she plays like Jace Lux. Unfortunately, a really bad version with a scuffed win con at the moment, but that will of course change as cards come out in Riftbound. More on what I mean by that in future deep dives. But moving on to Master Yi next. Remember Lee Sin? Oh yeah, this Master Yi guy is literally the same thing, but +2/+2 instead of +1/+1, so he's just strictly better in the same color. Only difference is their signature champion spell and chosen champion, but yeah, Master Yi is power creeping in base Sett, it's crazy. That being said, he is also just basically OG Kinku elusives without the elusives. Okay, next is Misfortune. This one is rough, guys. She does kind of play like MF from LoR, but not as a burn unit in pirate aggro. Hell, not even a scout synergy card in scouts, but she plays more like a gimmicky, cheesy, weird misfortune like MF Aurelia. That's where she is at the moment. Ganking itself is a good keyword, but her colors are so incredibly weird. Okay, so now we're cooking again. Let's talk about Sett. He's like Kaisa in that he's very different to how he's played in lore, especially in the context of Karma Sett. He is nothing like that. He's definitely more like Sett Jack, if anything, which at least one or two of you just went, woo, Jack mentioned. So shout out to my Jack fans out there. The best comparison I can make though is Lux Vex, with an emphasis on Spirit. In Riftbound, Sett has tons of +1/+1s, cheap combat tricks, and a strike spell to use while ahead. He also can be compared to Overwhelm if he's played a bit more mid-rangey. Okay, so here's potentially the funniest one. League's little devil Teemo. He plays exactly like Nidalee, with hidden cards practically being the ambush mechanic. He also has a really funny casino concept, where if he hits Nocturne with his flip effect, you literally jump scare the opponent with what's essentially a Jarvan effect from lore, except from deck instead of hand. Moving on to Viktor. In lore, he's defensive keyword soup, and usually borrows another region to help with a win con, but in Riftbound, he's actually the best token deck there is. He's the same colors as Lux while doing her job way better, and same identity as Garen, but again, doing his job way better as well. This is the first time I'm going to compare someone to a completely different game, but he's literally Dude Pally from Hearthstone. If I had to pick something from lore though, it'd probably be a weird combo of Elites and Jace Lux, since he encroaches on both Garen and Lux's Riftbound identities respectively. Almost done, just two more for Origins. First of which is Volibear. Really easy one. Him and other decks that utilize Aurora from Orange are all ramp Freljord decks. Trundle, Volley, War Mothers, FTR, take your pick, it's all the same. And finally we have Yasuo. So he's a lot more gimmicky and combo-y in this game compared to lore. In lore, Yasuo is a defensive stun deck, but in Riftbound, he feels more like a one-man army deck, maybe something like Pantheon, or even better, Shen Fiora, with an emphasis on Fiora. Yasuo wants to be developed and protected at all costs, using him as your primary pressure tool and win con. And just like in the last video, I know no one asked, but I'm gonna say it anyways. My favorite deck for Origins is Kaisa. I actually really enjoy how she plays and how many options that deck has. Followed closely by an aggro version of Sett. The combos in that deck feel really rewarding, and I love how combat plays out. And that's it for this one. Extra shout out to the patrons on screen. Much love and thank you for supporting. What are some other decks you would compare to the Riftbound Champion Legends? Let me know in the comments below. I read all the comments and there's more I want to cover, so I'll be making more videos soon. With that, please leave a like to support the content. I also stream on Twitch, check me out over there for live gameplay. I plan on doing community Riftbound tournaments in my Discord server as well, so feel free to join in to catch those events and when I go live or post videos. Thank you so much for watching and have a good one. Laters.